So a little bit of a change of venue, a little bit of scenery change. This is kind of a touchy subject for me, so pretty much the other day I was coming online and someone close to me pretty much was asking like, "Oh, who are they?" You know, as I was hanging out with them, like, "Oh, these are my friends." And they said, "No, those are not your friends. Those are just people you know online." And that admittedly was not the best thing to say to me, especially as I'm mostly an introvert. Honestly, if I have to say one thing, at least in this in the spur of this moment, is you don't tell an introvert, "Oh, those aren't your friends. Those aren't real friends." Like, really, what the? Have to refrain from swearing. It's a touchy subject for me, mostly because of the things I grew up with. Making friends is hard. It's not easy. And some people just don't seem to wrap their heads around this. I mean, if these are people you hang out with on a fairly regular basis, talk to them on a fairly regular basis, just because you don't know their name, their address, when their birthday is. Well, granted, I should probably know that part. But long story short, telling an introvert who already struggles with social interaction that these people aren't people that you can call friends. I'd like to disagree with that. I believe you can have online friends who are closer than actual family. I'd probably, in all honesty, if I met when I meet them in real life someday, I'm probably going to be as shy as I am, regardless of the fact, because you're crossing a barrier between online and reality. And with that, yeah, it takes time. It's like I probably would be just as shy with them in real life. The nice thing about the computer is it allows you a little bit of a veil or a buffer from the stimulus that runs us down as introverts. I have the ability to, bleed out. Wrong choice of words. I have the ability to leave, turn off, tune out, all kinds of things. Stuff you just couldn't do if you were face to face. So, if I had one thing to say to anybody who is around introverts, is don't force them or try to make them do things outside of their comfort zone, within reason, of course. I would have to say I'm happy that I was dragged out of my comfort zone long ago, but I still am what I am, which that's my personality. I do have an outgoing personality at times if I am comfortable with things, but there's a lot of times where it's like I've been with my friends online here and the group gets a little too big. I get really uncomfortable and I bounce. And I don't think they realize that. They probably will after seeing this video. And apologies, guys. Some of the times that I bounced on you is just because I was feeling super uncomfortable with all the strange people I don't know. Unless I'm really, really drunk, in which case I'm social AF. And I get Gucci on that. Like, I'm real Gucci with friends and being in a larger environment. I just have to be comfortable with myself being in that environment. If I'm not, I go quiet and usually I disappear. That's just me. Even online, yes, even online you can be an introvert. But getting back to the subject, you don't tell an introvert, no, those aren't friends. Those don't count. Like, really? It's already hard enough trying to reach out and be a sociable individual without somebody telling me, "Oh, that doesn't count." I've had a hard upbringing when it comes to making friends, especially in the real life. I know it's everything's online, everything is fake online, blah 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 blah. But the feelings are real, the emotions are real, and the connections I'd like to believe are real. For me, this is the easiest thing for me to do. Do I want real life friends? I'd love to. I'd love to, but a lot of people don't share the same interests as me as you can find online. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm a sports fan," which yours truly is not. I love watching it. I love playing and participating in it. Like, I'll play soccer, baseball, whatever. But watching it, and if you were to tell me about teams, I'd be like, okay, I recognize these teams and that team in said sport. At the end of the day, I'd be like, I don't know who the players are. I don't know who the coach is. I don't know who got injured and who's out right now and who's making millions of dollars. As far as, I mean, shoot, even hobbies. Hobbies are hard for me even online. Like, my friends, they're all discussing anime. They're all discussing this, that, and the other. Even video games. Video games, anime, funny enough, firearms. I have a few friends who are very familiar with firearms, and they like to talk shop every now and then. But a lot of it gets Greek to me, mostly because I keep to myself all the time. I don't think it's healthy, but this is my way of trying to be social. Outside of this, for a little clarity, my job is very much a public thing, not customer service. Like, may I take your order at McDonald's? But I'm out in public, like a lot, and I'm kosher with that. I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci with it because it's just like that's me. When I don my vest and everything else, dude, I'm in the zone. I'm the alpha king. There I go. I'll fucking dominate you. Wait, I should not be saying that. Yeah. So, in all seriousness, I am very comfortable when I don my vest and I'm in my job, which is very public. I don't know how else to put it really. I don't really want to talk about my job a whole lot. I'm just saying that outside of work, off duty, I am very much an introvert. It's like, I get nervous, I get shy, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the vest. I don't know. I really can't explain it. I swear. I always wondered what this noise was. For the longest time, I realized it's me kicking the handle under my chair. Like you may occasionally hear that in some of my previous videos, and I was always like, "What the hell is that noise?" That's me kicking the lever on my chair. I'm gonna admit I was pretty sad. I was pretty depressed when I was told that these guys aren't your real friends. They're not real friends. They're just people online. I can't really explain it. I just closed up. Like it was such a bad thing to say to me that I just went blank, and they didn't understand. Like, oh, why do you look so sad? Why you look down? I don't know. Maybe because you just insulted the one thing and the one comfort zone that I had and just destroyed it. It's just it's not a good thing to tell that to an introvert. And I went upstairs and I just laid down and I just stared at the wall. Well, didn't stare at the wall, but I tried. I just didn't feel anything. I felt numb. It was a weird feeling to feel that way after so long. Usually I am more in control of my feelings and emotions and able to deal with them. It's like, I deal with depression on a fairly regular basis. I would love to tell you all that it gets better with age, but it doesn't. You just learn to tolerate it. So I stared at the wall and I wasn't hungry. I didn't eat dinner. Had no appetite. I was just numb. That's the best way I could describe it. And from that, I just went to bed. The next day, I felt miserable when I woke up, but I have to go to work. So, off to work I go. I don my vest, put on my happy face, and it's not. I would almost call it a mask. Like, hey, you know what? Behind the mask, I'm depressed as AF, but outside, it's not their fault. It's not the public's fault that I'm this way and feeling this. Why drag them into it? I see some people do that, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. So, long story short, it's been a couple days. It's been a hot minute. It happened like, let's see, about 3 days ago? Yeah. So, I've been dealing with it since. I thought about spending time here and talking about it, but it just didn't. The opportunity to talk just never presented itself. So now I have the opportunity, and so now I'm just kind of babbling and rambling and going on about stuff. So bear with me. And my mind's a blank. Maybe it's because I've poured out everything that I want at this point. I'm sorry this is not a happier vlog. Usually I like talking about topics and subject matter that are, not quite so depressing. Every introvert, I would have to say, is a little different. We all have our little backgrounds and things. I used to be, I would like to say, pure introvert. Like me and social interaction were just like no bueno. I guess now that I've had a moment to sit here and think, I'll go to the next thing. It's like, okay, you talk about These people I talk to online, they're not my real friends, quote unquote. They're not real people. Or, no, I shouldn't say real people. That wasn't said to me. They're not my real friends. Well, let me explain something that happened well, I wouldn't say many years ago. God, I'm so drama. I did have friends, and I've had friends growing up. People have come and gone from my life, and dealing with that loss is hard. Like, a lot of the times, we go our separate ways. It's like you're friends for a while and then just poof, gone. And as an introvert, that's hard for me to deal with because it's like, okay, I don't have the ability to just get up and make new friends easily. When I moved here, I found an outlet through an anime group, and that's where I kind of made my friends. That's where I learned to drink the hard way. I learned to drink the hard way. I learned to watch anime. I shouldn't say learned. I've been an anime fan before I met this group of people, but this group of people was more outgoing than me, I guess. I don't really know how to say it. They're more sociable types. Whereas with me, I was like, no. So, getting back on the subject at hand, essentially this group of individuals, I'm trying to find the words to express the things that I saw over time. It's kind of like when you go to, let's say Starbucks, or to go to eat, especially to eat. There would be majority of them individuals who would have trouble paying their bill for their meal, and being a good quote unquote friend, I would pay for them, and this became a kind of regular thing. So yeah, eventually, and I don't see it at the time because for me, it's just like, I'm happy. I'm wanting to please them. I don't want to be an outcast, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, it just, I cut myself off. I realized that, what, I can't be man, I don't want to use the word cuck, but that's kind of where it went. It's just like, what do you call those people who pay those streamers money for, because they want to see them happy and all this other stuff. Not a cuck. It's something else. I'm totally at a loss for words right now, but you get the idea. I'm sure you get the gist of it. Yeah, long story short, I faded out, and it's been years since I've had dealings with these individuals, these people. They're good people, but at the end of the day, I think I was being used, and it's just, that's honestly not how friendship should work. The friends I have now, I can't call them like, hey, we're bound at the hip. I have a best bruv. Um, you have seen in some of my other videos. I have several friends that I talk to, and in a sense, we have that bonding and connection because we're all dealing with our different anxieties, depressions, problems. It's easier for us to communicate and to bond because we have those differences, or those, I shouldn't say differences, the similar problems or similar troubles, things that people who outside of not ever having them could never relate to. But they're good people. In my heart, they are good people. Icterius, Nubu, Taint, Shower Guy, Polarho. Even though I really haven't really talked to Polarho a lot, man, you're a good guy. Let's see. There's also Vividi, Mini's off doing his own thing. He's awesome. There's also 2D Reaper. Once in a while, well, I'm mentioning iCarly simply because he's one that I interact with memes with more than anything. It's like he's a cool streamer, and I have a blast just casually interacting with him and being stupid together. And maybe someday he and I will. Well, we've met up in VR chat a couple times, but he's VR gear. I'm a normie. No offense to you, bruv. You're cool. I'm just laughing because you have all the cool stuff. It's like the best way I could relate this to is for the furries. Like a fursuiter and a non-fursuiter, it's like, okay, the fursuiter's on a whole nother level. But anyways, I'm sure I haven't mentioned certain people, but you all are really cool with me, and I do consider you friends. I'm sorry, but you know what? Get with the times. A lot of stuff is online. I get it. There's stuff for real life. But for introverts, this is the best way for us to make friends. For me, these may be the only friends I ever have. I'm not saying I would just cut out people from having a chance in real life, but honestly, I've tried. I've grown up trying, and people come and people go from my life to the point where it's just like it's hard for me to invest those feelings and those efforts and those times. It's like it's because not because is I've become numb. It's just I'm numb to a lot of that. I'm not outside of letting people in, but you have to be worthy. In this day and age, things have changed. The game has changed. You know, the idea of friendship is a whole different topic and conversation. And I don't want to keep burning myself over and over for other people who may not care. I'm not getting any younger. I'm just not. You Muppets know exactly who I am and what I'm, my age and all that other stuff. I mean, these are my friends. I may not know their real names. I probably couldn't pronounce their real names. No offense, bruvs. But at the end of the day, I consider them my friends. I understand online is more of an emotional thing. It's like, oh, you have the emotional connection, but you don't have a real connection. Well, I don't know anything deeper than an emotional connection. Although having a physical connection helps, but you know what? Life doesn't always throw you those opportunities. Like I said, the majority of people around here, it's like me trying to make friends with my coworkers. That's just nah. No, they're cool people. I love messing around with them at work, but outside of work, I'd be like, do we have a connection? Is there anything we have a connection with? Probably not. I'm kind of an outcast when it comes to that. It's like I could talk to you about video games. I don't play console. I mean, even in the video game community, it'd be like you have console players and then you have PC players. There would be that small divide. Like, oh yeah, I don't really know how to play with a controller, but and same for PC people or console people. They'd be like, well, I don't really have a PC, but the only connection we'd have is games. Anyways, been rambling a lot. Thank you for putting up with me. I just felt I had to get all this rambling and thoughts off my chest because it's just been eating at me for the last couple days. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching. I really don't know what else to say. This is kind of awkward because it's like I just was talking about a bunch of things and now I'm just like, my mind's blank. So, I'm going to cut things short here. Well, I wouldn't say short. It's probably been, I don't even know how long it's been. I just been talk. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you continue to come to this channel. What if you do? And thank you for listening to my long-winded ramblings, whatever. In the meantime, cheers, and I will catch you again in the next little segment that we have and share. Bye.